Hey there! Ready for a wild ride? We're diving deep into the future of work, and it looks like AI is bringing the party.
And by party, we mean a total revolution. We're talking about generative AI, the stuff that can write speeches, compose symphonies, even paint like Michelangelo.
Okay, hold up. Michelangelo might be a bit much, even for this AI, right?
You'd be surprised. But you're right. The point is this tech is light years beyond anything we've seen, and it's not just about robots coming for our jobs.
Which, let's be honest, is what everyone's secretly thinking, right? What happens when robots can do our jobs better than us?
That's the thing. It's not about replacement. It's about augmentation. Think of AI as your super-powered sidekick.
So like Batman and Robin, but with less spandex.
Exactly. Imagine having this brainy AI by your side, crunching numbers, analyzing data, coming up with those out-of-the-box ideas.
And I'm guessing there are already companies out there using this kind of AI, right?
Yeah.
Give us some real-world examples.
Absolutely. There's this company, Aura Intelligence, and their AI is like having X-ray vision into your workforce.
Wait, X-ray vision. Do they tell you who's due for a coffee break based on their brainwaves or something?
Not quite, though that would be cool. Aura analyzes resumes, social media, market trends, all that juicy data to identify skills gaps, hidden talents, even where your competitors are snagging their top performers from.
Okay, so less about reading minds, more about connecting those dots in a way humans can't.
Exactly. They had this one case. A marketing team was struggling to connect with a new product. Aura swoops in, crunches the data, and boom, discovers a whole untapped market of cat owners obsessed with vintage video games.
Hold on, rewind cat owners who love vintage video games. That's incredibly specific.
And it worked. That's the power of this AI-driven insight. But with all this tech talk, it's easy to think we all need to become coding ninjas to stay relevant.
Don't even say that. I'm still trying to figure out how to reply to an email thread without hitting reply all.
You and me both. Here's the good news. While technical skills are important, it's not the be-all and end-all. It's those uniquely human skills that are becoming even more valuable.
Okay, you're speaking my language now. Tell me more about these uniquely human skills. Is this where my questionable karaoke skills finally pay off?
Maybe. I'm talking about emotional intelligence, creativity, adaptability. These are the skills that are tough to replicate in a machine, and they're becoming even more important in this AI-driven world.
So it's like we're entering this weird paradox where the more advanced technology gets, the more we need to embrace our humanity.
Exactly. It's not about becoming more like robots. It's about becoming more human.
I can get behind that. It's like we're in this incredible dance between technology and humanity, and the steps keep changing.
And this dance is happening against the backdrop of this massive shift in how we work, remote work, hybrid models, the gig economy. The landscape is changing faster than ever.
And I'm sensing this changing landscape brings both amazing opportunities and some serious challenges. Let's dive into those, because let's be real, not all of this is sunshine and rainbows, right?
You got it. There are definitely some big questions we need to address.
You got it. There are definitely some big questions we need to address. Like, what happens to the people whose jobs can be done by these AI whiz kids?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And it's not just about one type of job either. We're talking about a pretty seismic shift in the workforce.
Seismic might be an understatement. We're talking about robots taking over tasks humans used to do, and that's got to make people nervous.
Absolutely, and rightfully so. The Keenan Institute did some research on this, and their findings were pretty eye-opening. They found a significant number of women are in jobs that could be automated using AI.
Okay, so certain jobs are more vulnerable than others. What kind of jobs are we talking about here?
Think administrative roles, clerical work, even some areas of finance and education. Jobs that traditionally have a large percentage of women.
So we need to make sure that women are getting the support and training they need to thrive in this new world. But it's not just about gender, right? We have to think about minority groups too.
Exactly. McKinsey's research showed that Black workers, for instance, are also overrepresented in jobs that have a high risk of automation. We need to make sure everyone benefits from these advancements, not just a select few.
So how do we do that? How do we make sure that everyone has a fair shot at success in the age of AI?
It's a multi-pronged approach, for sure. Reskilling and upskilling are essential. We need to give people the tools to succeed in a job market that's constantly evolving.
So like coding boot camps for everyone.
That's part of it, but it goes beyond just technical skills. It's about critical thinking, problem solving, those adaptability muscles we were talking about earlier.
So it's not just about learning to code, it's about learning how to think in a way that complements AI, right? But how do we make sure everyone has access to this kind of training. Not everyone can afford to drop everything and go back to school.
You're right, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. We need to think about accessible and affordable training options, online courses, community programs, apprenticeships, things like that.
And I'm guessing it's not just about individual effort either. Companies, governments, everyone needs to be on board with this, right?
100%. It's about creating a system that supports this transition for everyone. And it's not just about economics either. We need to be having some serious conversations about the ethics of AI, and we need to be having them now.
Ethics is a big one. We're basically talking about creating a whole new set of rules for how we interact with intelligent machines, right?
Right. And those rules need to be rooted in fairness, transparency, and accountability. We need to make sure that AI is used for good and that it benefits all of us, not just a privileged few.
So it's not just about teaching people to code. It's about having a broader conversation about what kind of future we want to build with this technology.
Exactly. And that's a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of. But, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some really inspiring stories out there of people who are navigating this AI-driven job market successfully.
Okay, I need to hear some good news. Give me some hope here. Tell me about these success stories.
One that comes to mind is about this guy, Spencer. He was working in fast food, really worried about automation taking his job.
I can relate. Every time I order a burger from a touchscreen, I'm like, is this the end of humanity as we know it?
Right. Well, Spencer stumbled across this reskilling program run by Automation Anywhere.
Hold on. Automation Anywhere, the robotics company. They're the ones training people to do the jobs their robots are going to take.
That's the irony. They saw the writing on the wall and decided to be part of the solution. They trained Spencer to train AI robots.
So instead of being replaced by a robot, he's become the robot whisperer. I love it. What happened to Spencer?
He's thriving. Turns out he's got a real knack for understanding how AI thinks, and he's become this amazing AI trainer making bank.
Now that's what I call turning a potential threat into a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
He's like the poster child for adapting and thriving in the age of AI. Are there any common threads in these success stories? What sets these people apart?
One thing they all share is this willingness to learn and adapt. They see AI not as the enemy, but as a tool, something that can help them level up and explore new possibilities.
This is incredible. Spencer's story really flips the script on this whole robot takeover narrative.
It really does. And he's not alone. There are so many stories like his out there. People embracing the change, leveraging AI to create new opportunities for themselves.
It's inspiring, right? Like, the future's not some predetermined thing, it's what we make it.
Exactly. It's about taking control, about becoming the architect of your own future.
Right.
But it can feel overwhelming, Where do you even begin?
Right. It's like, okay, you've convinced me the robots aren't taking over, at least not entirely.
Yeah.
But how do I make sure I'm on the winning side of this equation?
It's all about mindset, really. Embrace the idea of being a lifelong learner. The job market is going to keep evolving, so you have to evolve with it.
Lifelong learner. I like the sound of that. More learning, less worrying about robots stealing my lunch money. But seriously, how do we put that into practice?
It's about staying curious. What are the emerging trends in your field? What skills will be in demand 5-10 years from now? And don't wait for someone to hand you a roadmap. Go out and create your own.
Create your own. I like that. So it's not just about keeping up with the Joneses. It's about setting the pace.
Exactly. Online courses, workshops, mentorships. There are so many ways to upskill and stay ahead of the curve. And don't underestimate the power of networking. Connect with people in your field, share ideas, learn from each other's experiences.
It's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's kind of both, right?
Yeah.
You got to have the skills and the connections.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, with AI taking over more routine tasks, those uniquely human skills we talked about earlier, those become even more valuable.
So all that stuff that makes us human empathy, creativity, critical thinking, that's our secret weapon in this brave new world.
100%. It's about finding ways to blend those human strengths with the power of AI. Think of it as a collaboration, not a competition.
Collaboration over competition. I can get behind that. But even with all this talk about robots and AI, it sounds like the future of work is actually, well, pretty human.
More human than ever. It's about connection, creativity, and that constant drive to learn and grow. And it's about remembering that this isn't a race to the finish line. It's a marathon. So pace yourself, embrace the uncertainty, and never stop exploring the possibilities.
That's such a great point to end on. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and the future of work is a team effort. We've covered a lot of ground today. from the nuts and bolts of how AI is changing the way we work to the bigger questions about ethics, equity, and the skills we need to thrive in this rapidly evolving landscape. We've explored the challenges and the incredible opportunities that lie ahead. And as we wrap up our deep dive into the future of work, here's a final thought for you to chew on. If you could delegate any task to a generative AI, and I mean any task, what would it be? And more importantly, what would that free you up to accomplish? Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying, and remember, the future is what we make it.